Hey everyone, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. I have a special guest with me here today, Kris Merkel of Exodus, the crypto software wallet. Kris, thank you for joining us today.
Hey Tony, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time. So, Kris, can you tell us a bit about what you do at Exodus, and then if you can go into a bit about what is Exodus for those who may not know.
All right. I started out in support, and basically that's kind of my whole world. Anything that has to do with customers and issues that they have with Exodus. We have an amazing support staff. Exodus is really a support-driven company, which means that we spent a lot of time early on building up our support capacity. So when we were ready to make a sprint, that we were able to help everybody who's using the wallet or has a question in the wallet or wants to talk to us. I mean, we're really into building relationships. So I basically focus on the support side of the company.
Awesome. So, obviously, Exodus is a crypto software wallet, but can you give us some more details about currently your services, how many cryptos you support, what are the fees, and maybe a bit of a history of the company itself?
Sure. Exodus is a multi-asset desktop wallet for your digital assets. So, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you name it, all the ERC20 tokens, with a built-in exchange, which is kind of the heartbeat of the wallet. Basically, you can exchange directly between, I think right now there's over 1,000 different combinations of asset pairs to exchange directly between. So like if you were on a traditional hosted exchange, you would have to like exchange an ERC20 to Ethereum or Bitcoin and then back to another ERC20 or to another token. If you wanted to go ERC20 to Zcash, you would have to jump through all these hoops to make that trade happen. In Exodus, you can do this directly between pairs. I think the count right now is just over 40 assets that are in the exchangeable section of the wallet, which means assets that can be exchanged for one another. And then there's over 90 that's including those 40. So there's another 50 at least that are included in the wallet, which are the ERC20 token side. We a long time ago didn't have any assets that weren't exchangeable, but our customers were actually getting funds stolen from from exporting their Ethereum private keys and using it on my Ether wallet. And we decided that was a risk that our customers shouldn't have to take. Sure. And so we started adding ERC20 tokens to help with the security of their wallets and the security of their funds, to make sure they had a place to store them. They never had to export their keys to actually have the assets. They can send them and receive them at will. Exodus has been around for a couple years. I think we're at version 1.58.4 right now. And for those of you who don't know, Exodus has a release rhythmically every 2 weeks on the very early morning on Friday. So we're always adding things to the wallet. So the wallet's been around for a couple of years. We started out with 5 assets, and we've just grown from there. Daniel Castelloni and JP Richardson are the founders. They got together. Each of them had a specific skill set and knew that there was a better option out there than anything that was available at that time. To build something that's beautiful to look at, kind of elicits this emotional feeling from the design, and programmatically just works, right? That there's not a lot, like it's not a buggy wallet, and you get to own all of your private information. Like Exodus doesn't keep any of that. Like it's very important, the individual control of your own wealth. And so that's kind of what the company was founded on. Early on, it was also decided that, okay, this is what the wallet's going to be. But something else that was really lacking in the industry was the level of support that people could get
Sure.
in this ecosystem. It sucked. Like it was awful. And honestly, today, like it's gotten better,
Right.
but there's still a long way to go. So
Right.
there was a decision made early on that we would be a support-driven company, that we would, but part of our ethos would be empathy for the customers who are using the wallet, right?
Sure.
Because it's their pain points that are causing roadblocks from them to do what they want to do. And when we're talking about individual control, we want to remove all those pain points. So the company was built up around the ethos of support, design, and development. We have spent a lot of time really building the capacity in our support. So when we were ready to sprint out of the gate with development and start adding new things to the wallet, that we were there to help you.
Got it. And I'm glad to hear that. I think that's needed more in the crypto community, the customer-centric, customer-focused, and making sure folks are getting what they need and their needs are met. And it's great to hear that you guys do just confirm every 2 weeks on like Fridays, you said early, that you do an update, and that's, I'm sure, related to security and features and things like that.
Yep. I mean, there's a big machine turning behind the scenes. As soon as that release drops on Friday, it just never stops. I mean, it's a fast moving train, and the development just continues. And that's one thing that was decided early on, as well as having a wallet that looks great, that always works, that
Sure.
has better support than anybody else in this industry.
Sure.
That our release schedule will be regular. We will not miss an update no matter what's happening. And so, that keeps everything fresh, and it allows us to kind of just always be on top of what our customers are asking us for. Like,
Sure.
You have something that you want to make sure is working all the time, that's secure. If there's program security, if there's things that we find out, and we actually have a HackForce investigation team that we go through every time a customer says, hey, my wallet's been hacked. We take it really seriously. What we do is we go through their entire wallet with them. If they want, identify how their funds got stolen, give them the information to help them take it to the authorities if they want to do. But the side effect of that is that we get to find out what kind of security practices our customers are using.
Sure.
And we can actually build things into the wallet that will mitigate maybe poor security practices, right? Because not everybody knows that they need to like write their 12 words down on a piece of paper and not keep it on the computer at all.
Right.
Or not click phishing links. All that kind of stuff. Like there's and we've learned a lot from our customers who have reported hacks, that something that we can do to help with the security. Now, want to be clear here that we exchange millions of dollars a day are sent through the wallet, and to this date, no customer has actually ever lost funds because of an exploitable vulnerability. We find all the time that we need to do a better job about helping educate people about security, that Exodus is a very safe place to keep your funds, and it's not scary. It's a hot wallet. It's on your computer. We say all the time, it's only as safe as the compuder that you're working on, you're running it on, and that a hardware wallet is a very good option for storing your funds for long-term storage. But the combination of those two, and you should be bulletproof. But those are some of the things that we do when we update every 2 weeks. And of course, add assets, add new features, try to get rid of pain points, an extra click here or there, making sure that everything is always running like a well-oiled machine.
So I could essentially just go download the wallet and start using it, right? And is there, what's your fee structure? Like, how are you guys, are you charging me if I upload or have my crypto stored in there?
Yeah, those are really good questions. So you actually hit on something that's really important. Something that nobody else does in this ecosystem is that you can download the wallet and start using it instantly. We don't believe that there's any reason for you to back up the wallet unless you actually have like skin in the game, right? Unless you actually put something into it. So you can go ahead and start using it right away. You can go ahead and kick the tires around, decide you don't have to put an email address in, you don't have to create a password before all that stuff, before you go through and actually start using the wallet. Now, after you make a deposit, the wallet gives you the opportunity to run through a backup process where you create a password, you get to see your 12 words, and you get at the present time an email backup link, which will help you recover your wallet. And so there's two different ways to recover your wallet in case something ever happens and you lose it. You have your 12 words, which write it down, keep it in a safe, put another copy in a bank, offsite, get a crypto steal. Those 12 words will save the bacon every time. If you don't have them, and you remember your password, and you have your backup link that gets sent to your email address when you back up the wallet, that will also allow you back into the wallet. But yeah, you don't have to jump through hoops to start using it. And speaking of the email addresses, that's also information that we don't collect. There's no accounts. It's not a hosted wallet. Exodus is a wallet that sits on your personal computer. You have 100% complete control of all of your private information, including your email.
Got it. And what are the fees that you charge for using the platform?
Yeah, they're actually Exodus is free to download and free to use. Okay. There's no cost to use it. There is when you use the exchange is the method that we fund the project, right? And so when you go to use the exchange, you'll see an exchange rate. The spread between one asset to another. Our exchange partners get those rates. They also take a very small percentage off of each of those exchange, and we also take a very, very, very small percentage on top of that to continue developing this wallet. We know that it's not right for everybody. Sure. But the benefits of owning your own information, it's actually faster to exchange than to like move from your hardware wallet over to a hosted exchange, wait for those confirmations, right? And then put a limit order in or a market order, or try to get a limit order in at the price that you want, wait for that, and then get your money back and then send the money back out to a wallet so you're not keeping it on the exchange. You can do all that right in Exodus. So and a lot of exchanges will charge, some exchanges, I don't know a lot, but some exchanges will actually charge you when you withdraw from the exchange, right? Because there's no fees for the exchange, but they also have to make money, and so they'll charge you fees based on what you're moving out. So there's kind of this balance that you have to decide which way is best for you, but we believe that people really like having their privacy, they like having their security of owning their own information, and they like the convenience of just being able to click a tab and go, I want this for that. Oh yeah, there's my exchange rate. We're one of the only wallets that shows you the actual dollar amount that you get from one asset to another. You see a lot of wallets that have internal exchanges, and they'll show you in bits the difference, but they won't show you the dollar amount. So we're very transparent. We're very transparent about that.
Awesome. I think that's a great feature, and like you said, the simplicity and the ease of use, being able to just do it right there within the wallet, it's great. And I think definitely the cost savings, like you said, because they're transferring, withdrawing fees and from different exchanges. So
yeah, I'll put the hidden bonus in there too. Yeah. And it's a shout out to the Exodus support team. That also helps fund our support, right? And which we have 24/7 across email, social media. We have a Slack channel that we do live chatting with all of our customers.
Cool.
Currently people get answered within like 5 minutes, and everybody's a blockchain expert. We're not and they care about every single ticket that comes in. So that's kind of the hidden value that you're not seeing up front, is the support that you're gonna get with using the wallet. And you're talking to people on the other end, and when you're dealing with finances, like it's huge, and we want people to know that there is a company that actually cares about making their experience with Exodus successful. I mean, I wish I could say every time somebody contacts me in support and I send an email back to them, I wish I could send them a cupcake too. Like, here, yeah, I know I'm really sorry about this, because if it's something that's wrong with the wallet, maybe the wallet led them to do something wrong.
Sure.
And those are the types of things that we try to help out with.
Got it. Awesome. Well, that's definitely great to hear. And I did want to ask about Ripple XRP, the addition that just recently happened August 17th. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, so we're going to agree to call it Ripple XRP.
To support both aspects. There's some people who still call it Ripple, and know a lot of the XRP holders call it XRP, of course.
I'm going to tell you that 90% of the people that contact us about XRP call it Ripple.
Yeah.
That most of the casual investors
right
have no idea what an XRP is. They just don't. But I think the tides are turning. It's Ripple, it's XRP. The asset XRP is in the wallet. We've been playing around with XRP for a while. We have an alpha wallet. It's a public alpha wallet called Eden, and it's completely unsupported. When I was talking about all the support you get before, you can forget about that if you're using Eden, because Eden is for like advanced users who know how to export their keys, who know how assets work, and that's the place where we send things to break. Got it. When we initially started playing around with XRP, we introduced it into Eden. And there were ups and there were downs. Sometimes it was available, sometimes it wasn't available. And that's why it took so long to get it into Exodus, because we needed to make it perfect. It's a very popular asset.
Yeah.
We want people to have a great experience with the wallet. Having something broken or unavailable, it just isn't going to fly. Like, we know how that feels. It's happened before. Like, and our job is to keep all of the assets available at all times. And so, we've gotten requests for 2 years for Ripple. Right, add Ripple to the wallet. Add Ripple to the wallet.
I was probably one of those folks, because I was waiting for it.
Yeah, and we wish we could have added it sooner, but it took a lot of development work. When you talk about Ripple having this huge infrastructure that facilitate these really fast payment methods, and it's fast, man. I mean, there's no doubt about that. You send a Ripple transaction, and there's two sounds that the wallet makes. When you send an asset from Exodus, it makes this swoosh sound, right? Yeah. And when you receive an asset in Exodus, it makes this ka-ching sound, like you've just got money. Like, it makes you feel good. Hey, I just got a deposit. Ripple is so fast that if I have two wallets open next to each other and I send from one wallet to the other wallet, I hear the ka-ching before the swoosh even ends.
Wow.
It's literally that fast. So it's really cool. But the server infrastructure, like, Ripple does not work as a blockchain like something like with UTX, like with the UTXO system, right? It has its own ledger system.
Yes.
And that's why a minimum balance in any Ripple wallet, not just Exodus, is 20 XRP.
Right.
Because you have to pay to have that wallet on the ledger. Right. Just to keep spam down. Exactly. Otherwise, there would be so much traffic on the network that Ripple would be unusable. So, that's just the price you pay for using Ripple. If you're a Ripple fan, it's going to cost you 20 XRP, which when it was 3 cents was not that big of a deal. When it hit $1, man, people were like, why can't I take my 20 XRP out?
Right.
Sorry. That was in the test wallet. So, we're really happy to see it there. It's kind of a milestone, because it was probably one of our most requested assets, and we're finally able to say, hey, XRP community, Ripple community, here it is.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks were excited. A lot of folks are excited to see it on there. So, great work on your end and your team.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that.
And on that note of adding coins, I know You mentioned that you cannot name names, and which is fine. But I'm curious, by the end of 2018, do you envision you having an additional 10 more coins added? I'm just curious if you had a ballpark number.
Yeah. I don't actually have a ballpark number. There's a couple reasons for that. If I could wave a magic wand, if our developers could wave a magic wand, we would put a lot more assets in the wallet.
Sure.
They need to work.
Yeah.
And they need to work. The wallet, the assets in the wallet all should behave very similarly. Like, you shouldn't have to like learn how to send or receive a particular asset a different way than another asset works in the wallet. It's a bad user experience. Exodus is built for people of all skill levels, right? And that includes people who are just getting into crypto. If they have a bad experience, they're going to go back to an exchange, right? And they're never going to know the importance or what the convenience is like to actually exchange within their wallet. I'm going to so people are asking us for assets all the time.
Yeah.
At this moment, on our jobs page, you can go to exodus.io jobs. We have 8 positions available. A couple of those are for asset integration engineers. Like, we're hiring people to help us integrate more assets into the wallet. So the long answer to that is, yeah, we're going to add more assets by the end of 2018. As many as we can.
Sure.
And that's because we're at a point now to where we can do that, because we're able to support the customers that are coming to us. If something happens with your exchange, if something happens with the wallet, you're not going to be in a black hole. You're going to have somebody to talk to and somebody that's going to help you. The idea is to like keep that down to like kind of a minimum, though, right? With functioning features in the wallet. And so, we're working on adding assets. We know people want them. We're not deaf. Like, everything. It's interesting. If you go back through the change logs in all of the release notes on the downloads page. So you can download Exodus for free. Go to Exodus.io. There's a little .io. There's a little downloads button. Click that, and then you can go all the way back through the history of the very first version first version and see like what we've put in.
Cool.
Almost everything has been requested from a customer. It's like Exodus is a wallet built for the people who use it, and people are asking us for assets. The environment, the ecosystem looks different than it did 2 years ago, right? There, you can look at CoinMarketCap and see what the top 25 assets are. Man, who would have ever thought Tron would be in the top 10? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Right? It's a little bit different world.
Sure.
Assets are coming. I can't say which ones. I can't give timelines. And it's not that I can't, but I don't want to, because I don't want to ever promise. As a company, we're never going to promise on something that we cannot deliver. Right? Yeah. We don't want to lead anybody on saying that Exodus is going to, give you a big shiny new car and then end up, giving you like a Hot Wheels package, or not even showing up at all. So the thing is that we keep our development to ourselves. And when it gets released, and the thing is, you don't have to wait long, right? Every 2 weeks, you get to. It's like Christmas, opening a package every 2 weeks, going, "What's in Exodus this time?"
Cool. So I think I definitely understand your standpoint, and you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So I know you guys you're doing your due diligence, like you said, and making sure you go through all the testing and make sure everything works properly before you release it. So I'll keep my eyes and ears open and every 2 weeks and refresh on the website. Cool. So I wanted to ask, what can we expect from Exodus in 2019? And once again, only what you can share, as far as expansion and things like that.
Yeah. Well, it's no secret we're working on mobile. It's been on our roadmap for a long time. Mobile is actively in development. Definitely more assets, and like I said, the ecosystem's changing. So who knows? I mean, and part of that assets is, I'm not saying just more assets in the wallet, more exchangeable assets, right? Exodus is a wallet who has multiple integration partners that we use to facilitate exchanges. We're going to go to the exchange that services the best rate to help our customers save as much money on each exchange. So, basically building up a lot of the back end. Definitely mobile is going to be amazing. I can't wait for that. Also, but no timeline, so I can say 2019. It's a long year, so that's a pretty safe bet. Increased security. That's always at the top of our list. We have our hack force that helps us do diagnostics on attempted hack cases or where people lose funds, and like that's going to help make the wallet. That's going to help make the wallet a lot better. This is one thing that I don't know if a lot of people know. Everybody that's super security conscious is like, when are you going to get 2FA? Right? Like you go to a hosted exchange or like whatnot, and you're popping in your Google Authenticator and you're popping in your 2FA. You go to Twitter, 2FA, Reddit, 2FA. Hopefully you have 2FA on everything, and it's not with your phone, but it's with Google Auth. Exodus is a wallet that lives on your computer, and so that kind of 2FA doesn't really work well. They don't play well together.
Right.
And so being able to solve that puzzle into like, okay, well, how do we incorporate this this larger piece of security that people are asking for, but don't really know what it means other than just the Google Auth, right? Because a lot of people think that we have accounts. A lot of new users come in and they think that we have accounts and that like we have access to their accounts and that like just like everything else, you should pop in the auth code. Man, it would be awesome if we could do that, but we can't. And so that's why it's not there. So other methods of increased security measures will be coming next year too.
Awesome. So it kind of wraps up my questions, but I did want to ask, and of course this is not financial advice. You're a crypto holder. How do you see the market in the next year or so from your perspective? And you guys are in the behind the scenes working with different assets and so forth. I'm curious, what do you think about that?
Well, it's good that you put the disclaimer that you're not giving financial advice, because if I were to say any predictions ever, I would always be wrong. except this last one where it's like, it's gonna hang sideways for quite a while. I think we're gonna see a lot more scrutiny for actually utility of tokens. Obviously, people are trying to hit up ETFs all the time for the SEC to do other types of exchanges. Other exchanges are gonna start throwing in tokenized securities. So we're going to see a shift, a beautiful shift from traditional markets into crypto markets with stuff that hasn't even been there before. So
interesting.
We're going to see it probably, I'm going to guess, a lot more institutional involvement. We're going to see probably a lot more regulation. And once those tokenized securities come in, like it's stuff is going to be regulated heavily, which I think will boost up the price of like Monero and Zcash, right? Private cents on Zcash. Like privacy coins will actually become more popular as regulation comes in. Bitcoin will still be king. Bitcoin it drives the price of everything, but there's going to be a dilution, excuse me. Not a delusion maybe it's a delusion of what other people would call all
right.
We're gonna see the ecosystem change a lot, and the benefit to that is that it's going to get more people into crypto, and that's really what we need. So hopefully what we saw at the end of 2018, there was not enough education, there was not enough built up infrastructure, there was certainly not enough support from any companies in crypto. That died down. Development has just taken off with every company,
Right.
we're going to see that adoption rise, and hopefully everybody will kind of be ready for it this time. And maybe it won't be so parabolic, but it'll definitely rise. So the future, from my perspective, is the future is totally bright.
Awesome. I appreciate your candidness, and thank you for taking the time once again for answering all these questions, talking a bit about what you guys are doing. And I would love to have you again, if there's any new developments around Exodus, and you give us an update, maybe it's later this year, whenever it may be. But thank you so much.
Yeah, we're always available. Any time that we have an opportunity to connect with our users with any means, and especially people like you who are so passionate about the industry and just want to share information, right? Because that's helping everybody. Education is a key component to adoption, and that's why I personally like your channel, is because you're helping people out. You're helping people understand what this space is all about, and that's what you like to do. And I really appreciate that. So anytime, I would love to come back on.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kris.
Yeah.